Good morning. Welcome to the Beauty Business Podcast. Today, my voice is a little off, so just forewarning, it is me, Celeste, your host. So I wanted to do a quick little podcast episode for you and why I removed mindset and the importance of understanding really what that means. Behind also the word empower. This episode is really I know it's gonna ruffle some feathers, but I want it to be really authentic as I always have been, why I removed it, and the importance of being more aware of this. There's a lot of things that are gonna be coming out, at least on my side, about this. So let's get to it. First, I removed the word mindset because currently, from what I'm seeing around and just also myself, I need to be conscious of the work I put out and how, I have listeners and you're listening to this podcast. And mindset's being very misused at this time. Sometimes I hear people like, well, if you don't invest in this program, let's say, for example, in online courses or programs or how to learn a new skill, that means that, you could make $100,000 or you can make $1 million if you invest in this one education thing, and it's going to change your life forever. And it's this whole pressure tactics behind things. I'm not saying everybody's doing it. I'm just giving you a little background of why I am removing the word mindset. And they're saying, well, you have mindset blocks because if you really want to, you have the money there, which is true. But there's also people, okay, that maybe it's their last $500, $1,000. I know there's like $10,000 and $20,000 programs out there too. I have made different investments in my own life and in my own career where, people sell you on things like, this website and we're going to rebrand everything. It's going to change your whole business. And you do this investment and it doesn't. And it's one thing when you're conscious about your decision and you have a type of income to make that investment. And, but there's another thing when it's somebody's last, money and giving them that fake perceived value. Because there are beautiful, life is abundant. I really, truly do believe that. I understand that I am a Latina. I was adopted when I was 9. My adoptive grandpa, I call him my grandpa, he happened to be white and happened to have a really good economic, background. And we did grow up with a lot of privileges. I did until I was 16 when I went to go live with my biological mom, and life happened. I've lived out of my car. I've been homeless. There's been lots of things that I've gone through in my life. I've couch surfed, when you sleep on your friend's couch because you have nowhere to sleep. There's been days where I didn't have things to eat. These are situations that I've gone through, and this is not my blogs putting that on to you. I'm just letting you know a little background why I removed the word mindset from my podcast. And there are times where it's a smart investment when you know what your return of your investment's going to be. So let's talk a little bit about that. So what does that mean? If you invest in buying a car, okay? So if a car is $40,000, you understand if it's a brand new car, as soon as you drive it off the lot, you sign the paper and you drove it off the lot, you've lost already some value of that car. You understand, you're making that conscious decision. And currently with the whole word mindset being used and different type of pressure tactics, I am not pro that. I know if I have the knowledge and I have the education to know what to use to sell more. For me, it's more about making my clients and making our industry more aware of what you're really investing in. Is it a real thing for you? Is it an investment that you need at this time? So after taking some time, I know it's been a little bit since I've posted, and it's been weird because I thought I had posted all these podcast episodes and they're gone, but everything happens for a reason. I truly do believe that life happens for us, not to us. I've decided to really change and shift my podcast into less tactics and more the reality of business, more of the true things of what you truly need of being a savvy business owner. I started my career in 2018, which wasn't that far long ago. It was only 4 years ago. And 4 years ago, I started without an Apple phone. I started doing videos and taking pictures the best I could, putting myself out there. And that's how I've been able to do a lot of the opportunities and features and working with brands and companies and being paid for videos and getting better at things has been over time with practice. I started very scrappy, very savvy, using what I had at the time was a Samsung phone. I didn't know about Canva. I didn't know about all these other amazing free tools there's out there. And as of that, and also as being, in a different type of, income bracket now, in a different situation in my life now, I really want to help up-level my industry in a different way, being authentic. Authentically, how I always have been, about what you can do with what you have. Because there are people right now that don't have the luxury of, even for me, I don't have a babysitter. I know it's 2022. It's not for income necessarily. It's because of I don't have a babysitter. Right now, there's no babysitter that a person I can trust to take care of my kids. It takes a lot of work. Like my husband and I are going out tomorrow, and it's kind of like a business/dinner thing. But it took a lot of work to get a babysitter to take care of our babies. And I understand that not all of us can travel. Not all of us have, right now at this time, maybe there's something happens unexpectedly. So how can we shift our whole perspective as an industry? And how can we start utilizing and tapping more into ourselves, into your power? So that's why I decided to remove the word mindset, because sometimes there is life circumstances, and that's when you can get savvy, right? And you can get creative. And that's where my podcast is going to be shifting to. You're welcome to stay as always. I'm a bilingual, so I do episodes in English and Spanish. And now let's talk about the other word, empower. In 2020, I did a post, and I think I'll reshare it, and I'll, with a date on it so people can see, about how I stopped using the word empower and why, which is another word that's really being used right now. I stopped using the word empower because if you look up the definition of empower, and as I'm talking to you and recording this episode with you, I'm actually looking it up on Google. So I'm looking up for the word empower, okay? And so it says empower definition: to give the authority or power to do something. And it says give someone the authority or power to do something. Make someone stronger and more confident, especially in controlling their life and claiming their rights. And that's why I stopped using the word empower, because who the hell am I to tell anybody, give authority to somebody, to give them the power to do something, in claiming their rights. Like, that is not something that's up to me. It's something that's up to you. Your life, your reality, your business, you get to decide what you do with that. I can give you guidance. I can give you insight into what has worked for me. If you want to do some things that I have been able to do in different situations, some lessons, I can give you that knowledge, so maybe it can help you in making a better decision for yourself. But I'm no one to give you authority of what to do or not to do. And as the whole beautiful thing of education has flourished, not just in our industry, but throughout the whole world, in all industries, I don't take that lightly. Being an educator, being a mentor is a huge responsibility. And some of the big reasons why I've decided to be independent, even though I know there's lots of benefits to being a branded educator, is because I wanted to be able to speak my voice. I wanted to be able to say the truths, the good and the bad. It's not neither good or bad. It's just it works or it doesn't work. So what works and doesn't work in certain situations? Because, nothing is 100%, okay? My shoes, even though they're size 8, if I throw them in the dryer, because they're made out of plastic, I'm looking at my Birkenstocks, my black Birkenstocks I'm wearing right now, they'll shrink and they'll fit more like a size 4. It happened to me, so I know that. So that's what I mean. Nothing is definite. Hell yes, and nothing is neither bad or good. It's either gonna work for you or it's not. And so with all this, changes that I've made myself and my business and sharing my journey on my mobile salon, I'm just currently waiting for my license for the state of California, which I did based on their new requirements and everything, and also added some extra things because, I wanted to and I could. I've had a lot of time to think and to see how I'm shifting and how I've grown from my own experience and experiences in the industry, experiences in taking different education of mindset. So I'm looking up on Google, it says mindset, and it says it's a noun, and it's the established set of attitudes held by someone. The meaning of mindset is a mental attitude or inclination. So it's a fixed attitude or disposition that predetermines a person's responses and interpretations of situations. So we know how it says like fixed, and in the first definition also says like established set attitudes held by someone. I mean, I don't believe that. I wouldn't be who I am today. You wouldn't be who you are today if you were the same person that's held the same beliefs and same values that you did 5-10 years ago. And there's probably something that you truly believe really core to your heart, that you're like, yes, this is so true 10 years ago. Then now you're probably like, what the heck was I thinking? Like I was so wacky. What was I thinking back then? And that's what I mean. Our mind, and I have done episodes on this, our mind is not set. And we are able to change that. But just, seeing I'm not saying everybody's using it this way, just seeing how a lot of the mindset thing has been really used more as a manipulation or like a sales tactic. That's why I decided to remove the podcast name, the mindset part of it. Of course, I'm always going to be talking about situations and things that I faced, and how my growth has also come by also not believing that I have to work 24/7 and do it it's hard like everybody else to be worthy of my blessings, to be worthy of my growth, and how important that is for you too. Because if that was true, that we had to work hard for everything and that our mind is set, that means we couldn't change. That means we couldn't evolve. That means we couldn't grow. And think of a situation for yourself where you thought something and you shifted your life and your daily actions and you changed to something else. There's probably something that you've done in your life. For me, for example, being a cosmetologist, I sucked at curling hair, curling with curls. I sucked so bad, like horrible. It looked like a 4-year-old did it. But you know what? I practiced and practiced and practiced. And now that's something that I love to do. So if my mind was truly set, then, I wouldn't have been able to change that. But by the same token, and this is why I decided to remove mindset from my podcast, and I wanted to add on this, is that it took action. It wasn't just like, okay, Celeste, you're going to believe that you do really good curls. It's like, no, I practice on all my clients. I practice on doll heads like all the time. I will curl my daughter's hair for fun just to practice more. I curl my hair constantly. And before I used to have my hair curled all the time. It was for that. It was to master the curl. It wasn't so much that I wanted to curl my hair as much as it took the action to go ahead and be able to hone that skill, to be able to have that skill. And I think that is one of the biggest things that's missing right now with the whole word mindset. It's not just your mind, it's also the action of what you do and you don't do. If I believe I'm worthy of my blessings, that means today I'm recording this podcast with my raspy voice because intuitively I really feel like I need to put this out there. I don't know why. So I just wanted to. But also with my actions, I'm not doing work stuff today except for this, which came intuitively. And for me, it's like really important. But I'm not on my computer. I'm not listening to anybody. I'm just like chilling at my house, having a cup of tea. My daughter's taking a nap. I'm having a really easy, low-key day because I know that my body needs rest, just like your body needs rest. You also need to nourish yourself. You also need quiet space to let your thoughts come in, to see what's really bothering you, to see what you're doing amazing, to really take in your wins too. Maybe you've done something awesome. When's the last time you celebrated that you did something amazing? This whole freaking thing that we have to work 24/7 nonstop. I even seen it with TikTok. Post every day. If you want to grow, you have to post 4 times a day and do this and do that. And I was like, why? And by the same token, TikTok is like Instagram. If tomorrow TikTok goes away, then are we just doing this hamster wheel race, where it's more effective that maybe I, send out this podcast today and publish it and send out my email tonight, which was already pre-scheduled to my email collective list, to my people inside of my email collective group. So those are little things that we really need to think about. And that's why I really wanted to remove the word mindset from my podcast, because yes, our mind is a very powerful tool, but it's also the actions of what we do and don't do. So that's the portion of the mindset part. So let's get to the next part, which is the empower. And before we get to the definition of empower, I did want to say this. We can get motivated and we can feel inspired by other people, but empower is, which I go into there, is about giving power. I really want people, and I really want you who are listening today, I want you to give yourself the authority. Give yourself your own power. Take your power back. I remember, I forgot who says this, but she said, don't ever meet your hero or your mentor, the people that you look up to, because they'll be your biggest disappointment. And that's because sometimes we put the people that we look up to, we put them on this pedestal, right? They're this amazing high being and amazing human that we want to be like. Instead of giving our power to ourselves back and being like, wow, she did that, so me too. Let's start the Me Too movement. You can do it too, she did that and she had all these freaking things going on. I can do that too. And I really want to encourage, as we start this new season in my podcast, the Me Too movement, that you can do this too. If I take time out of my day, out of my work, to be able to share this with you, is because I want you to give yourself the power to try something, to, not give up on the first try, and keep taking the action to try again. And also take the action of having rest in your life to be able to renourish yourself, your soul, your family, the things that you love. Is not always work. And, as many of you know, if you don't know, I just finished my mobile lounge / mobile salon, because I have a hybrid business. I can't work full-time being a hairstylist or a beauty pro. So I love having the hybrid modality in my business. And it has been so beautiful to be able to not worry that I have to work on it and be able to go back to just enjoying the quiet and enjoying my day and enjoying a cup of tea. So remember to power yourself, because you are the one who's going to take the action, and you're the one who's going to stop taking the actions that are hindering your growth. It's all up to you. You can buy the best books, you can get coached by the best leaders in the world, but if you don't take the action to stop doing the things that are no longer working for you and start doing the things that do work for you, nothing is going to change. So I hope this gives a little bit of insight to why, I removed the word mindset from my podcast.